stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Trustee Burt.
Present.
Treasurer Anderson.
Present.
Trustee Fabdo.
Present.
Supervisor Miller.
Here.
Trustee Clerk. Here. Tom Clee.
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Clee and Trustee Campbell.
Present.
Did I miss somebody?
No, he can't hear you. Sorry. Do we have any additions or deletions to this evening's agenda? No. Approval of minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes from November 21st, 2022? No. No corrections? All those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Thank you. Public comment, if you'd like to address the board, I'd ask that you come to the podium and give us your name. You don't have to give us your address. And you'll have 4 minutes to address the board. Anyone?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good to see everybody today.
Leverett, sir.
My name is Gene Leverett Sr., and I'm here to talk about last night. I was just talking to the chief about it, but last night my daughter saw a full-grown cougar running across Beecher Road, coming out of the woods over there, and we reported it. And the chief was just telling me that it usually go to the DNI, right? That information?
I would guess it would go to the area.
Yeah. So I remember years ago, one was reported seen at the Patchaloo complex down there. And I don't know if you all remember that or not, but it was reported that a cougar was seen in the, and they've been talking about it, I think out in Vienna or Wausau or somewhere like that. They kept talking about these animals coming back, trying to take over their habitat again, you know. But I just want to let everybody know that, because it's a lot of kids and stuff, or people, you know, those animals prey on anything or anybody or whatever. But nevertheless, if the DNR don't make an announcement about that, I'd like for us to consider doing something to make that awareness about in our community, because it came out of the woods over there on Beecher Road and came into the community. It wasn't going out of the community over there, but and for it to come out of the woods to come into the community, it must be looking for something, and for animals, it's normally food.
Gene, where was that located? Beecher and what?
Beecher and Dye Road there, right there in front. Well, it was a little bit farther up, where the first entrance is to the condos over there.
Yeah, toward your
And
house.
so,
By chance get a picture?
no, she didn't get a picture,
Okay.
but she saw it, and we had that issue down there about them dogs already. So I don't know, maybe the cougar was coming out to solve that issue.
Here,
But
kitty, kitty.
nevertheless, and I think everybody talked about the blight, right? So I would hope that we got something going about that blight in Flint Township, because we went into all these different things that we wanted to do, and we got it down from the meetings that we are discovering Flint Township, right? So let's get busy and make sure we got something here to discover, and as well to give the curb appeal. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board?
I am Neil Seward, and
I think most of you know by now that my wife is a retired advanced master gardener. Since she retired from that program, fortunately, you had an opportunity for her. And with the Master Garden program, she always had to report her hours, everything she did in writing. And I remember last year I gave you a quick summary. I just want to do that again. She tabulated our volunteer hours at the Flint Township Police Station and surrounding garden areas, and this year it was down considerably. We only put in 134 hours. We
That's a
were
lot of
over
hours.
200 last year because when we initially took that project over, some of them thistle weeds at the far side of the parking lot were as tall as my wife. We didn't put in as many hours, but I can also tell you because this was such a dry summer, we didn't get the opportunity, I should say my wife didn't get the opportunity to transplant a lot of perennials and things she wanted to do. Because once you plant them, you would need to continually water them, and we weren't in a position to do that. So she's still got big plans. The memorial area, I think during the dedication ceremony with the plants there, that added and made it look nicer. But the long-term goal is to eventually put in some perennials and some flowers in those areas as well. We don't do anything alone. We run everything by Trustee Vert. She's really helped us a lot, and we appreciate her time and the fact that she puts up with us and we have all this discussion, so thank you. But that's just a little update on the gardening project. And if there are no unforeseen circumstances, we want to let you know up front right now that we intend to continue this project next year. So another thing, I got I should say my wife got a text with several pictures about the bike trail. From the police station, the bike trail has been added to the park on Elms Road. So it's in conjunction with Swartz Creek and Flint Township. That is a cause for celebration. We talked about this thing for years. It finally is completed. The only thing I would suggest still that perhaps needs to be done is at the Dye Road and Miller Road intersection. I think we need to have some more signage about that crossing. But there were several points in front of the GM warehouse that they weren't satisfied with. They were charged with, if you don't like the way it was done initially because you approved it, then we'll redo it, but it's going to be on your dime. Well, those changes have been completed, and I know we had a short meeting with Swartz Creek, and we were tentatively looking for maybe a ribbon cutting, family bike ride type event for early May of next year, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. So again, we appreciate all you do. We did sit through your previous 2-hour budget meeting. We've got a lot of bullet points and some thoughts, but we're going to keep it real light tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for what you do, for all the volunteer work that you do at our police station. It's very much appreciated. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board?
My name is Gerald Roberts, 4487 Lindywood Drive. I know each and every one of you people on that board is going through some very heavy thought processes right now. It's like a lot of people out here are going through some heavy thought processes on how to meet their bills from paycheck to paycheck, from month to month. Where we've come in about 2 years, from a booming economy to a place where inflation, I don't know if you guys got your consumer's power bill lately. Mine came through the mail. I see it between a force of good and evil. And I think each and every one of us need to pray for this nation. It's not like in the 50s or the 60s, like I grew up. This country in the last 2 years has taken a drastic nosedive. And you people up there are experiencing that nosedive right now with your budget. I got a tax bill. I'm afraid to open it. Normally, I paid it before the end of the year. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that. But we need to do one thing. One person is in control. We might not always see his plan, but he has a plan. And each and every one of us need to pray for this nation. Coming around Christmas time, I think it's going to be real rough. My wife works over at the food kitchen over here. She says a bigger influx of people are coming in. Times are bad for a lot of people. But I kind of hate to see what my tax bill is going to be. I know it's going up. I know it's going to be more than last year. It's an onward and upward spiral when people are on fixed incomes. I say again, we need to pray for this nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board? No? One more time. Last call for public comment this evening. I don't see anyone moving, so we're gonna draw that portion of our meeting to a close, and we'll move on to reports. No, there's not a lot on the agenda tonight. I just, it's been a while since I reviewed our little red MTA book. It summarizes our duties. And I just wanted to clarify, based on some things that have been said, all 7 of us are autonomous. I know a lot of people think that I have all authority here. I mean, I know what you said, Mr. Roberts. I know God has all authority, but here at this board, I have my duties as outlined by the law. I don't oversee anyone else at this table. I don't oversee anything in the clerk's department or elections or tax department, or I don't oversee the trustees. Just as the clerk's job is autonomous, she doesn't report to me or anybody else. She does, I mean, we are responsible or accountable to this board, but same with the treasurer. She doesn't answer to me and I don't answer to her. We're autonomous. And when it comes to making decisions, especially when it comes like to the budget or when it comes to hiring people, our policy is that only the township board hires and fires. And I know that that's confusing for some people, but I wanted to reiterate that while people may think being supervisor means that I have all the decision-making power, I don't. We are supposed to work as a board, and that's the way the law has set it up. I really didn't have anything else to say in my report. Madam Clerk, do you have a report this evening?
I do not at this time.
Madam Treasurer?
No.
Any trustee reports?
I just wanted to say really quick, we had an event at Randall's Elementary School, and I wanted to thank Chief Beckley and Officer Chiza, who were there we fed really about 200 families that go to Randall's, and they made hot dogs. We had the food bank there and gave away a lot of food, but it was just much appreciated for the help that we got from our township. And we thank you.
What day was that?
It was November 21st. It was a Monday just before Thanksgiving.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, they'll probably do it again next year. We'll get more notice.
Great. Any other trustee reports this way? No?
I just have a request. At the last meeting, I had suggested we have an election commission meeting to go over the past election. And I still would like to have that, if we could.
Yes, I want one as well.
Thanks, Manya.
Problem.
No other trustee report? All right, we'll move on to staff oh, I'm sorry.
Let's try to go last so I don't bother any. There was, I'm going to talk with our building inspector, excuse me, chief building advisor. I received an email and I did a little research on it and some questions in that.
At Maplebrook?
Yes. And this really hit me when you received it, a couple others of us did, and I did some homework last night and today.
Did you get it, Carol?
It was, yeah, Carol, you're on it as well. It was,
Had the wrong email address for her.
well, anyway, it was not, it was sent to us, I think inadvertently, because it was directed at an apartment complex that's not in Flint Township, but is immediately adjacent to Flint Township. So this individual who doesn't live in the area, is downstate, was an employee there, was affected by them, I should say, and these violations are ridiculous when you read this, and I printed it today and brought it with pictures and everything, and I'm gonna sit with and I'll share it with you guys when we're done. I just want you to know that all of us that did get it, it's gotta be handled and it's gotta be addressed, because it's a scenario that could happen in our place as well. Very, very big list of violations in the apartment complexes, and there you are. And I'm going to be sitting down with you. I looked there, and you weren't there, but there you are.
Say that's in Grand Blanc?
Yeah,
They
it's
sent it here. Just like we get things from-
it's a community immediately adjacent to Flint Township. We don't need to
Well, you said you were gonna sit down with
him,
Mr.
yeah.
Worthing to
But
talk
you can
about
be there.
that. I
Yeah.
don't need to, you're gonna talk about that with him? Grand Blanc stuff?
No. I'm going to
I was
talk
just
about.
trying to be
I'm going to
clear.
talk about the apartment violations that are happening probably in our same site, and we need to address these. All of us need to see this. This is terrible. And you see it. You'll look at it in the same way. It's just I don't know why. I mean, like I said, this gentleman sent it to specific emails across the township, and we all got it. So it's got to be addressed. Something has to happen. Not these violations, but the potential in our house. This is a house next door. We need to look at our house.
All set, Tom?
I'm done.
Chief Salter?
Yes, ma'am. I'll make it nice and short. Since your last board meeting, we responded to over 1,100 calls. That included 197 traffic stops, 72 residence checks, 116 business checks. Last week, Flint City had a shooting, and they put the BO all out over the radio. Our officers recognized the name of the suspect, and they actually located the suspect in Flint Township, and they made the arrest for the shooting.
That was good. Very good.
Got him.
And I gave 2 shout-outs to my officers, Officer DeLong and Detective Miller. They ran our firearms range last Monday and last Wednesday. Of course, last Wednesday was nice and cold and breezy. But it's a great range and do different ideas and techniques. So it's always good to have young officers teach stuff.
Very good. Thank you. Chief Beckley?
Thank you. Since the last board meeting on November 21st, your fire department responded to 49 calls. Some stats from November of 2022, we responded to a total of 110 calls. 20 of those were fire or carbon monoxide alarms, 7 personal injury accidents, 2 entrapment accidents, 6 structure fires, 6 vehicle fires, and 1 elevator rescue. On 11/22, our firefighters installed a total of 14 smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in 4 different homes in the township. As a reminder, we still have some left. If anybody needs them, give us a call. We'll come out, no charge. We'll install those for you. On December 2nd, we responded to a vehicle entrapment call in the 3000 block of Calkins Road. We assisted EMS with gaining access to the patient and removing the patient from that vehicle. And on the 4th, last night, we responded to a vehicle fire next to a residence in the 3000 block of Concord. The vehicle was well involved in fire when we got there, along with the side of the house was beginning to catch fire as well. Luckily, fire crews were able to get that under control very quickly. And just as an update on our calls, year-to-date total on call volume so far this year, we're at 1,032 alarms. So about 100 over where we ended last year. Already was still 20-something days left. So been a busy year. And tonight we have no action items on the agenda.
2 questions for you.
Sure.
That fire on Concord,
Yes.
was that in the driveway?
It was, yes.
The reason I'm asking is we just paved that road. When there's a fire on the road, how does it really badly damage the road? What?
It's on the other end of Concord.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, not on the new side. But yes, when there's a vehicle fire, usually on a pavement or asphalt, it usually does some damage to it. It seems like that always happens right after you pave something too.
And, go ahead.
Is that cost recovery? Can we then assess that repair to that individual's insurance so that it covers the replacement of that section of asphalt or however that might be? I mean,
Stretch.
That I don't think we would cover that. Yep.
Well, okay, they gotta have insurance, yeah.
And you said you
No, I'm saying, but if it was actually damaging asphalt that was currently done, or there's,
I'm not sure whether that would
how
be
does that
covered
work
or
on cost
covered or
recovery?
not.
Okay.
That I'm not sure of. That would have to go through the cost recovery company and the insurance companies. I would speculate to say probably the insurance company would deny it just based off they try to deny a lot of things, but you never know, I guess.
Fault me for asking.
So
Right.
you guys were called to rescue someone out of an elevator who was stuck in an elevator?
That's correct. Yes, we do get calls for those. Usually a handful of them every year. Seems like this year's been a little bit heavier in those calls, but it is common for elevators to have issues, and when they can't get somebody out of them, we'll go out, we'll get them out, and then they'll have to get the elevator maintenance companies out to fix it. So.
Just curious. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Mr. Worthing, do you have a report for us this evening?
Yes, I'll give you your report from the building department. So far this year, we've had a construction value of $21,572,736. Building permits and trade permits brought in a
Hey,
total.
Stuart, can you, it's
Slow
hard
it down.
to hear. Can you speak into the microphone? Thanks, Carol.
Run those numbers again, would you please? sir?
Construction value this year to date is $21,572,736. Building permits, trade permits, fees collected by the building department to date is $386,069.89. Business license fees collected to date is $51,975. Rental inspection fees collected to date is $101,781.25 for a grand total of $539,826.14. We've conducted 2,142 inspections, and the total number of permits written is 1,896.
When you say 2,142 inspections?
Yes. That is through the department between myself and my trade inspectors and code.
That complete your report?
Yes.
Tracy, do you have a report this evening?
So we have, I need that one. Yeah. Put that one. I don't want to have big balls go on. So the elf hunt is going on right now. We have 35 businesses that are participating. But one of the great things about this event is we do have the mall is involved, which is great. They have a new manager. We're seeing a lot of changes going on there. They've had cleaning crews out there. They're replacing lighting. They're going to be replacing flooring in the next 6 months. And I'm very pleased with the reactions and the communication from this new manager. Carol and myself are going to meet with him in January to discuss events for next year. And also members of the DDA are going with me to speak with him about what we can do to help them out and what direction they're wanting to go. So it was very positive, the words we had with him. He really wants to make that place work. He lives in the area, so he does care about it. That makes a difference. Also, if you've seen these buildings going up and you're wondering what they are, there's a building over by Valley Tire, across from Jersey Mike's. That's the gym, so they're working on that. And then everybody is asking me what the building is that's by Target, and that is Tommy's Car Wash, because it's a crazy looking building, you know, but it's a automated car wash, and so that should be done soon. We've got some other things going on. We have had some interest in a piece of property that the township owns, and I'm hoping to get a bid from them soon, that one I talked to you about beside the police station. So hopefully we'll hear something on that.
Right
And-
there.
We have a
Her-
question?
Her first.
Oh, sorry, over this way?
I just wanted a clarification from Mr. Worthing on some of those fees and everything that you mentioned. Are those in this captured already in this, the budget that,
Those are fees that were collected through the building department this year.
but are they they captured in what we've already been looking at?
They should be.
I don't know, what's the date on that? Look at the
This is
top
12.
of it.
November 9th.
So no, because this is
This is
through-
today.
So then, how much of those dollars that you're speaking of are dollars that the township can utilize, spend? Like, how much goes back into the general fund for use? Or are those, when you say all those fees collected and everything,
So-
what's happening with those when they're
Any
brought in?
fees that are collected, everything goes back into its revenue. It doesn't stay in the building department. It's all revenue, and then their budgets expense against that revenue, even with the cost recovery stuff. When we sold the tax reverted properties, that all went into general fund, and I'm sorry Kevin's not here to explain it better, but then we expense against it. And so it's not like his building department, I know that they charge rent. They're not supposed to make money, but that's a question that Kevin can better explain to you. But it's difficult to see because the revenue comes in one way and we expense it different ways. It's been an
Those are
issue,
huge numbers, so I would like, I'll talk to
sure,
Kevin tomorrow,
sure.
but if I could get those numbers that, I didn't write them all down, but
Oh,
if you could.
speaking of Kevin,
There it is. We have a question for you, Kevin. Can you give your report again, please, Mr. Worthing?
I can just give Kevin the copy, he can look at it.
nothing like putting him on the hot seat.
You should have kept going, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks for coming back, Kevin.
Do you know what, you can answer that question in a minute, because we're gonna go to the public hearing. Yeah, no, I don't think Tracy was finished. Is that okay if he?
Oh, you weren't? I thought you were. I thought you said that was
No, I
it.
was done.
She said she was done.
Well, we had a question down here. Hold on a
Barb
second.
had one and I
Is there a
had
new
one.
learning center over the old
She just wants to know where it all goes.
Pier 1?
Just listed as revenue.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the
Going
same
in there.
question on that one.
Can you, okay, we're gonna answer that question here when we get to the public hearing. To finish your report, what was your question, Barb? Not all of us heard it.
It's just the learning center in the old Pier 1. It's all been done, it's open, and it's a educational place.
Yeah,
It's all online, correct? That's an online facility there. It's not a tutoring facility, but it's an online,
well, there's people
School.
there, but it's not, yeah.
I know, but it's
I
not
don't
a-
think I don't think the kids are coming there.
yeah, it's like an online center where if I was an instructor, wanted to go there and work for them and teach to a student online, I could. It's not a.
I think
it's
so.
not-
That was
it's
my
not a I don't think it's a
understanding of it.
tutoring center body-wise.
Did you have was there more questions down this way?
No.
This question, you had a question, Tom?
There's also somebody, they were supposed to put in a bid for, a lease on the old, Sears Parts Warehouse in front of, Kohl's, so hopefully that'll be filled soon as well.
But
I was just gonna, you mentioned Tommy's Car Wash. If you haven't seen one, two of the coolest things they have is every station, when you pull out, if you don't use it, just go there and back up or pull into their vacuums. Every vehicle has a passenger and driver's side vacuum, accessible, free. And I happened to be in Grand Rapids for a wedding on Labor Day weekend and went by it and went, oh, that's what we're getting. So I went in and looked. And I asked the guy some questions. He goes, yes, sir, would you like your mats cleaned? What's it gonna cost me? Nothing. They have a vending machine. You walk up and drop your mat in, push a button, and it goes, and out comes your mat, clean. And you put it back in your vehicle. NC, baby, no charge.
Nice.
And the vacuums are no charge, and they were super good. They got all the dog hair off the back of my carpet in the truck. So I'm looking forward to Tommy's. And it's not mine.
no other questions then? No, all set? Okay, so, Kevin, you walked in when we were hoping you would, but you didn't know it. There was a question for, Stuart. He gave a report, like year-to-date on his, construction costs, no, the value of the construction, the,
Construction value and then fees
permits,
brought in.
business.
The question was where the money goes from all the fees that are
Yeah.
brought in.
It's just listed in general fund revenue.
I got it right.
I couldn't tell you the number off the top of my head, but you could drill into each one of those and say, like, permits are kept separate from, I don't know what the other ones are. But there
Yeah,
should be a
business
line item that
licenses,
equates
they're all
to
line
All
items.
three of those, yeah. And then that revenue is just general, like general fund revenue. In that sheet that I had, if you had the detail, you could see, you could go right to those lines and find those revenues.
Can we all get an updated report of that? Because he did a year-to-date today, and so your budget didn't reflect maybe the last,
That's not a problem.
yeah, 6 weeks or so.
So, and the money that he brings in is similar to cost recovery in the fire department or tickets that are in the police department. They're earmarked, but they all go into revenue. And then each department, their expenses hit against that revenue. So it's not specifically that the building department gets to keep this and operate off of that, and we can all divvy up whatever's left over.
Correct. Those, whatever revenue that is collected is supposed to offset.
Well, I started that with my original question was, is it reflected, what's in this revenues? And I'll sit with you tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, I can show you line by line where the revenue is, and then there's not like a direct offset of the expense, but whatever we pay those inspectors to go out and do those, that's what we're supposed to be charging as our cost.
May I go? Just, I think for clarification, for my own benefit, maybe those around again, you mentioned a structure value of $21 million. That's not money that comes into the house. That's what, and I say the house, that's the cost of what these buildings are being done, like,
Right.
what you
Yes.
call it over here. That's not an actual, we didn't get $21 million from the
Right.
building department, just so people are aware of that.
Yeah, but that's
His
just the
permit
construction value.
Value of what those are.
Yes.
The
What permits
permits
are based off of.
off of what that is, exactly. So,
Correct.
kind of like back when, Lisa, when you said, oh my God, people said, oh my gosh, we're paying
Or is that everything?
bills of $7 million tonight. We don't have any money, but no, it's a pass-through, and that money is not in-house. That's what the value of those, the valuation of those facilities are, so it covers those permits that you're assessing them for.
Yes, fees are based off that construction value.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
we're done with staff reports. John, you don't have a report this evening, so committee reports, we don't have any. We'll go to number 8, Madam Treasurer, payment of bills.
I'd like to make a motion that we pay bills in the amount of $1,636,291.78. In addition to that, we've had disbursements, tax disbursements in the amount of $99,236.74 for a grand total of $1,735,528.52 for invoices and disbursements.
So your motion is to pay the bills.
Yes.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Any questions or discussion for Madam Treasurer? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call please to pay the bills in the amount of $1,636,291.78.
Trustee Favdo?
Yes.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Klee?
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Burt?
Yes.
Treasurer Anderson?
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes.
Do we have any correspondence or informational items? Didn't see any. No? We move on to new business. We're going to have a public hearing right now on our 2023 Budget Appropriations Resolution Act, basically the budget. If anybody in the audience would like to address the board, we'd ask that you come to the podium, and your comments are limited to our budget for 2023. And we'll give you 3 minutes to address the board. So if anyone would like to speak, now's the time. No one wants to speak?
Let me ask a question. I'm Gene Leverett, 5210 Senior View Drive. But I didn't hear the amount or total for the blight. I heard you all mention something about the blight when you was getting ready to close the meeting out. So what did you guys decide on that, or?
I know there was a request for a couple part-time code enforcers. Is that what you're asking? We're looking at increasing the number of people who will be going out and, I mean, do I think we're ever going to get people to stop or to take care of all their properties? No, but we're looking at possibly hiring a couple more code enforcers to do so. Is that what your question is?
That'll suffice, but we're talking about the littering. You know, we wanna-
That's on the street. You get to talk to Chief Sip.
What are we
I mean,
gonna do about
Chief
that?
Salter.
Chief Shipper.
Sorry, I got
Salter.
something in my throat.
Chief Sipper about that.
I'll give you a cell phone.
Have that.
Ouch.
So we don't have, code enforcement doesn't have any, I mean, there's nothing set aside specifically for paying someone to make sure that litter's cleaned up. I don't even know if you guys have, how often does it occur that you would write, an officer would write a ticket for littering?
Depends on when it's going on, when they see it, if they see it even. 'Cause how many people fill a letter out when they see a cop sitting there?
Well, we don't have a DPW, right? Department of Public Works.
No,
right?
we don't.
So,
That's the road commission. They're basically our DPW.
okay, so is that something that we need to address with the,
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
We've done it a lot by, and then this is kind of getting away from the topic of the budget, but we've done it a lot through community volunteer service, and Tracy has helped coordinate that in the past.
okay.
2 days a year, though.
I know. If someone has a better idea on how we control people from throwing trash out their window, and sometimes it occurs when the waste hauler trucks, it flies off of there. So that's a topic for another conversation, but as far as the budget's concerned, I know that we address that issue through either code enforcement or police officers.
Okay. So, is that something we should be considering to add to the budget? If we need to get a plan to do something about it? You know, like.
I don't know that we're gonna be spending a lot of dollars on that. I
Well, we know
mean,
we already acquired those littering signs, right?
oops.
So that had to come out of your pocket, or?
I don't know where those signs came from. They're in the building department. There are some up. We can put more up, but then it's a matter of enforcement.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
My apologies, I was unable to attend your workshop meeting. I'm curious to know what we're doing about collecting unpaid taxes and also what we're doing in reference to collecting for those that do not pay water bills. And I do support highly that we transfer some money and some support, maybe through the police department and others, for code enforcement, because that needs help.
Thank you, Mrs. Nerman. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
Name is Gerald Roberts. First of all, I'd like to clarify something. In a regular meeting, I get 4 minutes, and
You want 4 minutes?
supervisor
I'll give
said
you
3 minutes.
I'll give you 4
What's
minutes.
the deal?
You can have 4 minutes.
Okay,
Anybody else want 4 minutes too? They can have it too.
okay, thank you. I happened to not attend the whole meeting with the comptrollers in the previous meeting, but one thing came to mind that it was said, and maybe it was in the Flint, that paper that comes out for Flint Township and Carmen Ainsworth, and it said in 2011, our healthcare costs were like 700 and, I don't know how close I'm getting to the figures, 738,000 or 768,000 that we had to pay for retirees' medical plans. And today, that has jumped to $1.3 million. Am I correct in what I just said?
I don't think so. Retirement costs in 2011 were approximately 800,000. The retirement costs today are 2.4 million.
1.4?
2.4.
2.4. Wow. When I retired from General Motors, I had a life insurance policy that was supposed to be $59,000. General Motors went bankrupt in 2009. That went down to $25,000 for a life insurance policy. and then it went down to $10,000. And I wrote a letter to this Mary Barta with regard to billions of dollars that were being collected now by General Motors. And at the past people that have been, is there anything? And they have a disclaimer across there. We reserve the right to cancel these particular programs at any point in time. If General Motors can do that and they go bankrupt, and you guys are looking on the edge of this, and all of these people that have got these golden parachutes out there with regard to retirements and with regard to their whatever, I don't know, life insurance policies or whatever. If General Motors can do that, going forward, can you guys put a disclaimer out there on anybody that retires? If you get into trouble, you can draw money out of your normal budget to pay for those particular things, because there's no guarantees out there on what's going to happen. It happened to me with regard to General Motors. I'm just saying, not just saying, but just saying. Maybe that might be what you can look at. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? One more time, last call for public hearing to address the board. I forgot to take what time we started. Did you get it? Yeah.
6:36.
Thank you. So if there's no one else who wants to address the board concerning our 2023 budget, we'll draw the public hearing portion of the meeting to a close. What time is it? 6:44. Alrighty, that's action item A. It's our plan at our next meeting that we have a final budget to present to the board, and we'll be voting on that December 19th. Action item B, Madam Clerk. Habitat for Humanity, do you have that?
Yes, we, I guess, Tracy, you want to handle that for the Habitat for Humanity?
Sure. So Habitat for Humanity has contacted us. They are wanting to do 4 houses on Claremont, which is over in Utley Hills? No, that's not Utley Hills.
No, that's not that real.
What's the other one called? Oh, anyway, on the east side of the expressway on Claremont. So that's, it's 3136, 3140, 3137, and 3141 Claremont. They're 4 single-family detached Energy Star homes, and it's basically, they're doing it through the Genesee County Home Program Project, so they're doing it through grant dollars. And so they would just like you to approve the resolution that was presented.
So a motion would be in order to move forward?
Clee would move that we accept the motion as presented in order for Habitat for Humanity to move forward on their project. Questions to be addressed to Economic Enhancement Director Tracy Tucker.
Is there a second to the motion?
Anderson supports.
Any further questions or discussion?
Yep. I did it
Go
again.
ahead.
Does this put, these are already on our tax rolls, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're going to, and they want to do some upgrades to them, that increases the value, correct?
Sure.
Okay,
Mhm.
so that means that gentleman behind you would be able to add a little more, that's a little more of that 5% that we're looking at post. Okay, I like it, absolutely, thank you, just clarifying.
Any other questions?
Who do they select for these homes? Is somebody in them? Or they empty, or?
All done through Habitat for Humanity. I don't know what their selection process is. Usually it's people that are involved in their program that have been looking for a home and would like to upgrade a home or have helped them upgrade homes for others.
Right.
Usually that's how they pick them, I think.
So to feedback, are they occupied at this time? Stuart, do you know?
I'm not sure if they are or not.
Okay.
Any other?
I can look at the, hold on, I can pull up the, what it says on the building permit. Oh,
Here.
probably water department would be the
We
best
have
place
to
to
do
find that, but.
Can't read that.
Which one is that one?
We don't have to vote on it, we just had it. We voted to have the hearing
As my phone falls down.
2 meetings ago. We'll be,
It
yeah.
could be that they're just remodeling it.
Okay.
Karen, somebody wanted to make a comment.
Are you here from Habitat from Humanity, or for Human?
I am.
Oh, there you go.
We'd love to hear from
Ding,
you.
ding, ding, ding.
I didn't see him come in.
I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if it'd be appropriate. My name is Tom Hutchison. I'm the Executive Director of Genesee County Habitat for Humanity, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. So there's 4 homes that are located on Claremont that you're looking for approval for the resolution for us to support your efforts in upgrading them?
These are properties that we've purchased. They're vacant properties that we purchased from the land bank. There has been infrastructure that's been put in from a previous development that looked like it had halted. We're looking to build, we've purchased 16 of those properties. We're looking to build, to start with 4 single-family detached homes on the eastern side of the street.
What was I going to say? A question came up as to the selection process. I'm sure there's a waiting list.
We do have a small waiting list. We always have homeowner partners that are selected before the home is built. That way we're directly transferring the title to the homeowner at the completion of construction. Those homeowners are, they partner with Habitat through contributing 250 hours of sweat equity before the home is completed, and then they're sold at a 0% interest equivalent mortgage. And the sales price is set at the appraised value, and so it doesn't affect the property values of any of the surrounding homes. The way that we're able to sell to low to moderate income individuals is that we have down payment assistance that we access through the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. There's gifted equity that goes into that, and there's also a dollar value that's put on their sweat equity that comes off of the sales price. So the first mortgage is less than the sales price.
It'd be substantially less, wouldn't it?
It is, yeah.
Is there any further questions from Mr. Hutchinson? We're certainly glad you're here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sure, thank you. So we have a motion and a second for the resolution. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor of approving the resolution to support Habitat for Humanity signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Sounds unanimous. Thank you for the work that you're doing. And our next meeting is going to be December 19th here at 6 p.m. And if there's no further business and without objection, we'll call the meeting adjourned.